Oops, sorry. Hey, you guys were on the plane from Finland yesterday. Yeah, I remember you. From Finland to Helsinki to Tallinn. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right across from you guys. Yeah. Narva and then St. Petersburg. Oh, you're going to St. Petersburg? Yeah. Nice. Very cool.
This is Kostya and Irina. God or the universe or fate brought us together again. They decided to help me get into Russia. And while this felt like an epic adventure, there's absolutely no footage of it because that is a big no-no. So let me break it down for you. This is the border of Narva, Ivangorod, and these two sick castles belong to Estonia and Russia, respectively. Only a small river separates the two kingdoms. There's a bridge between the two, and that is what we waited on for about an hour and a half before entering security. Kostya tried his best to brief me on how thorough Russia could be, and nothing would prepare me for what I went through. I walked up to the desk. The woman did not speak English, became annoyed, and stamped my passport to avoid a hassle. I learned that this is one of two ways things can go for Americans in Russia. Kostya and Irina could not believe my luck, but I knew the signs had led me down an easy path. And so we walked into Russia like nothing, and saw the signs of Victory Day celebrations. We ate some food and got a taxi to St. Petersburg. Kostya refused to let me pay for any of it. They helped me facilitate everything, from the delivery of my Russian bank card to the driver dropping me off at my hotel. And they did this for no other reason than to help an American.
Alright everybody, we are finally in St. Petersburg at the Hotel Amarant. And I gotta say, this is actually an amazing place. I didn't know, you never know what you're getting into, obviously, when you're ordering something from a Russian website from America, but I mean, let's see. It's very cute. Nice, got everything I need, very clean. Bedroom, double bed, and I don't know how to get this open, and I never will, but very nice stuff. And yeah, what we're gonna do now is absolutely poop.
After searching the room thoroughly for bugs, I got some much-needed shut-eye.
I wanted to get up earlier and get a good start on the day, but I still have just not gotten quite enough sleep, so I let myself sleep in. It's currently like 10:15 here in St. Petersburg, and I'll show you guys the view. This is what we're working with. We got just one of those kind of nebulous, maybe construction sites or something, Russian edition. I mean, if this isn't a Russian view, I don't know what is. Alright, about to leave the hotel and spill out into St. Petersburg. But it is so amazing the difference a shower can make. I feel a little bit rejuvenated and ready to take on whatever's coming today. As you can see, we just left the hotel and we're already seeing a line of police cars, Russian police cars. This is essentially why the city has such a low crime rate. And then you can see the Z on the vehicles is essentially the military term for victory, and you'll see it on the tanks too. So yeah, this is what it's like here. Large police presence. Whether that makes you feel comfortable or not, there is still, because of the large police and military presence, a low citizen crime rate.
St. Petersburg is Russia's version of a Western European city. Catherine made great leaps against Russian isolationism during her reign, and St. Petersburg is the fruit of her endeavors, whereas most leaders before and after have opted for more of a nationalistic approach to life in Russia. The thing I immediately found the most unusual was that the Russian Federation, in pure capitalist fashion, has pounced on the country's sordid past and turned it into a commodity. I tried to shake this new reality of the Soviet Union becoming a brand by running towards art.
I wasn't able to get to St. Petersburg in time yesterday, and today the famous Hermitage Museum is closed, which is a bummer, but instead today we're actually going to be checking out the big museum that is open, which is the Russian State Museum.
The Russian State Museum, a house of some of the country's finest works. The Russians have a very unique relationship to light, and their techniques take risks, and like Renaissance punks, they don't care whether it pays off or not. I floated from hall to hall and marveled at the halls as they were art too. I learned more about the Russian condition from an innate perspective, the constructions of things like life and death and love and anguish, and the way their minds personified these things in a dramatic but truthful way, almost like a visual representation of the prose of Dostoevsky. The realism reaches a horizon line, and within that barrel of light is the key to new meaning. Across mediums, the shadows dance without a typical vibrancy, but instead with a tangible sense of sentience. The awareness of oneself, God, other worlds, distant and not so, and the ability to convey this awareness by in fact creating more things to be aware of. This is art, and it is flying at you millions of miles an hour in the form of infinite, relentless ideas that tear away at the psyche until they can create themselves.
Alright, so we just got out of the Russian State Museum, which was fun but a little rough. I'm, I guess, a little bit surprised at how uncommon English is here. I was expecting it to be a little more common, but you know, you just use the Translate app and you get through it. Getting through is a little bit of a big deal because my bag would not fit through the machine, so I had to just take everything apart individually and put it through, all while the military guys had no idea what I was saying, and I had no idea what they were saying. So obviously you get into hairy situations, but one good thing is, like, if you speak English and don't speak Russian, then they just kind of want to be done with you. So it's like they'll just kind of give you whatever you want and get you out of there as quickly as possible, which is why I was able to have almost no issues at the border and had no questioning or anything like that. They just wanted to be done and get through. But yeah, now we're gonna take a little walk, go towards Palace Square, and try to find something to eat that isn't touristy and that is pseudo affordable.
The aftershock of Victory Day still pulsated seismically throughout the country. It felt like a drug that had yet to wear off and had people still under an intoxicating haze.
We got some silly folk here for sure. Grown woman, by the way. I'm guessing she's Chinese because I think the influencer culture is huge over there. If you're gonna, most of the tourists here are from China. Still silly though.
I try to take a walk and park the silliness of some people because these are things in general life that I cannot control. The best way to do this was to simply go to the park. I still had some leftover Estonian bread on me and decided to share this international cuisine with some of the local guys. When I walked, I quickly found Russian art elsewhere.
Alright, everybody, it's day's sort of winding down. Right now we're gonna walk to the Moscow train station and try to get a overnight train to Moscow.
Kostya and Irina told me to try Middle Eastern food here, as it was the city's specialty. So I grabbed some shawarma and a Fanta. It was all amazing and cheap too. The Fanta in Russia is somehow especially bubbly. I could only hope it would prepare me for the night ahead. A train going from one end of Russia to the other. St. Petersburg to Makhachkala, Dagestan. Dagestani people are a tough bunch, and I was literally crammed in with them. They would be in this tight squeeze for days, and I was spending at least half a day with them. It was one of the worst conditions I've seen people in. Children naked and dirty and screaming while their parents just try to get 10 minutes of sleep and choke down third-class train meals. The sheets were sharp with starch, and it was nearly impossible to get into the bed. My bed was right by the bathroom, and when the door opened, the speed of the train was always there to waft heaps of shit toward my direction. At one point, I even felt that I had to alert the train authorities and let them know a gentleman must have seriously lacerated his shitty asshole as the smell gaped and wafted just to where my bed was, as if it had some sort of schoolyard crush on me. I tried my darndest to look outside the window and picture some Superman free-running alongside in perfect pace with the train, but it was too dark, and the smells too dank, and the snores too loud. A cacophony of snores that will ring in my ears for nights on end. They almost felt purposeful, and I began to resent them for it, trying to picture their snoring faces in the dark of the train car.
Alright guys, it is official. We are in Moscow after, I don't know, almost 11 hours. It wasn't the best. Conditions were pretty crazy, but I got about 4 or 5 hours sleep, and I'm feeling actually pretty energized about Moscow today. I'm very glad I had that experience. It was actually pretty awesome to do it once. I understand I have the privilege to not have to do things like that all the time, so just having to do it here and there is a privilege in itself. But we are officially in Moscow, and one thing I just have to say is I made this friend named Sergey, and he was a little rougher around the edges, kind of tough Moscow guy. We talked for a little bit, and I was worried about missing the train, the stop, and he woke me up when we were close. And then, I kid you not, while we parted ways, he said, "Welcome to Moscow." Exactly like the guy from Live Free or Die Hard, or Die Hard 4, whichever the movie is. It was the most cinematic introduction to the city that anyone has ever had. For some reason, my navigation is just not working remotely. We got robbed, but Moscow just got insanely difficult out of nowhere. Valor and courage, it says.